Hi everyone, this is Cody W3AMG with Bridgecom Systems. So thank you all for attending this live stream. Today what we're going to cover is how to talk basically radio to radio. So we're going to be using a simplex frequency and talking from this radio to this radio, and you could really add as many radios in the mix here as you want. So this is great for if you and your other licensed ham radio operators are out, if you're on a hunting trip, or if, like, sometimes I went and got another vehicle, so we had our radios and then we were able to talk to each other on the radio. All kinds of different applications. It's great if there's bad weather, you can be in different locations and talk to each other what's going on. Now obviously a repeater has its place in a repeater. It's great because you can cover a large area, but sometimes if you're out in the middle of nowhere camping, there aren't any repeaters out there. And it's nice to be able to just quickly punch in the simplex channel and talk to one another. So that's exactly what we're going to cover today. But before we do that, let's do a few shout outs. Let's see, we have Ralph N6GVG from Hampton, Virginia. Good morning, Ralph. Let's see, we have Kent, morning from Southern California, N6ROQ. Good morning. We have Aaron. Good morning from Maryland. Good morning. Let's see. We have Josh, K4LLG. Good morning, Josh. David, KF6DGN. Looking forward to the training. Awesome. Yeah, great opportunity. Free live training. You can't beat this. We'll help you guys out. N7UGA. Tim, good morning. Mark, KD5L. Good morning, Mark. Louisiana, yep. Paul, good morning, Paul, WB0BBC. Awesome, glad to have you. James, KC8BGJ from Michigan. Good morning, James. Who else we have here? Harold from California. Charles, KB3RCM. Awesome. Steve, AA, I missed his call sign. Well, anyway, good morning, Steve. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, before we do that, we are going to be giving away a brand new Anytone 878 Plus on this stream. So you do have to be present to win, so make sure you click that link below and enter that giveaway. Everyone here has an opportunity to win this. So if you enter that, we're going to draw it right at the end of this stream. So if you stick around, you have a great chance at winning this radio. So let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. So first up, we are going to enter our information in one of the radios, and then we'll do it in the other. And if we have time, maybe we will show you another frequency as well, just so we can switch back and forth. So the first step is picking your frequency. If you have look at the amateur frequency ranges, you can look that information up on the internet. So today I decided we're going to use 146.020 megahertz for our frequency. And then we're going to use a tone, a CTS tone, 159.8 hertz. Now you can obviously pick what those frequencies are going to be as long as they're within the amateur spectrum. Or, if you're a commercial user, that could be totally different. But we're going to stick to amateur for this lesson today. So let's go ahead and set up our radio. So I'm just going to click confirm here. Did a complete factory reset on this one. So it's going to be just the same as if you got your radio out of the box. Okay, so wait for this to power up. And there we go, perfect. So I'm going to turn the volume down so we don't have to listen to it. First thing we want to do, now that we have our frequency information, is make it a little bit easier to use, easier to program. So I'm going to go to menu and turn the light time up. That way it doesn't keep timing out on us. So go to radio set, display function, and then the light time. We're going to make that, let's just make it half an hour. That should be plenty. Then we will also, back in that display function, change the menu exit time. Make that a lot longer. That way it doesn't back out of menus on us. And then we also want to change this channel name from frequency to channel. Now what that's going to do is basically allow us to see the channel as opposed to the frequency. That way when we name things, we can actually see what we're looking at. Now at this point, we're pretty much set. There is one other thing. You certainly don't have to do this, but sometimes I have heard of people occasionally run into this issue. If you go to radio set and just go down to, oops, let's see here, channel set. Now this would be under, no, radio set, and then other function, and then you go down to CTC STE, which is down quite a ways. I think we're going to have to go down near 27. Yeah, this right here, make sure that's turned off, and then make sure this no signal STE is also turned off, the one below that. Shouldn't really cause too many problems, but we have seen better results for analog operation with them turned off. So we are set there. Now let's go ahead and punch in our frequencies. So we're already in the VFO. So from here, we can go to menu and go down to settings. And then you want to go to channel set. Then at this point, what we're going to do is change the channel type to analog, just like that. Now you can do the same kind of deal with digital channels, but we're going to use analog today, so we'll back out. Now we are going to set the our tone. So the tone can either be a transmit tone, a receive tone, or both. So that's what these are, the CDT. This is the transmit only, this is receive only, and this is both. So some repeaters may have different receive and transmit tones, so you may have to set them differently, and some may only have a tone on one side, just on the receive but not the transmit, or vice versa. And then some are the same, so you just use that one below to set both of them at the same time. That's what we're going to do today. Now obviously if you're setting this up, you can pick how you want it to be. So if you want it, so you have to have the tone to transmit, but everyone else can pretty much hear. You can do it that way or vice versa. So we're going to just select our CTC tone here. And I said today we're going to use 159.8, so we're going to do that. Perfect. We've got that selected. And remember folks, P2 will back out. Sometimes this red button will actually delete your information. It won't in this menu, but some of them it will. So P2 will always back you out of stuff. There we go. So we've got that. Now, we should be pretty much set at this point. So we're going to get out of radio set and go to channel set. Well, we were already in channel set. Perfect. So we're going to scroll down here to our TX power. We shouldn't need a lot of power for this. Now, if you're using these, on the road or out in the woods camping, or whatever you're using this for, a lot of different purposes for simplex operation, you may want this set on turbo so you can really reach further distances. But for today in the shop, we're just going to use low power. Okay, so we're good there. And then don't need to mess with most of this. The bandwidth, that is important. Make sure that is set to wide for amateur radio. You're going to want wideband here. And now we just need to set our frequencies. So we'll go here and you can just press this red button to delete. And we're going to do 1, 4, 6, 0, 2. And then to finish filling this out, simply press the pound key, and that will complete the zeros for you. That way, 1, you don't have to type them in, and 2, you don't have to remember how many to add. Then just click confirm. Perfect. Now we're going to use the P2 to back out and go down to transmit frequency. Click on that. And we can see because we did the receive first, it automatically changed that for us. So we don't need to change this. Perfect. So we should be pretty much set at this point. Now what we want to do is go back up to the top here. And we're going to click a new channel. And you can just say OK to whatever number it gives you here. And now we're going to give it a name. So let's see here. So we'll give it simplex 14602. That way we will know what it is. But you can name this absolutely, whatever you want. So we're going to confirm, and we're going to add it to zone 1. Now, if you have multiple zones or you create them, you can add this to, whatever zone you would like. Click select, and then yes, we do want to save it. Perfect. So there we go. It is saved. So now at this point, if we go back out here, we can get out of VFO by pressing P2. Now there is our zone, and if we scroll through here, it's probably, if we're going backwards, it'd be faster. There we go, perfect. That is our channel. We can see it's analog, and it has all the information we were looking for. So now we just need to do that with our second radio, and we should be set. So I will go through it a little bit more quickly here. So first up, going to go to settings, and then radio set. Well, I guess our light time's already set up. Some of this radio has been used before. It's not a factory reset, so some of these features may already exist on it. We'll check on that STE feature. Perfect, so that is off. This one is also off. So we're good there. And menu exit time, light time, that's all good. So let's set up our channel. So channel type, analog, tones, CTC. And you guys can do this, folks. It's really quite simple. I know it seems challenging at the start to figure all of this out if you're new to it, but it's a lot of fun. It's great to be able to, be out on the go and then decide, oh, we need radios for communication, and pull a couple of radios out and then, just program them up real quick and start talking. That's really what it's all about. Makes communication much easier, and really it keeps us all safe. So let's keep going here. So we're going to set our TX power to low. Already done, cool. Bandwidth, we want to, we want that to wide. That would have caused us some problems there. And our frequencies, set the receive, 14602, pound, perfect. Transmit, 14602. Great, so we're good there. New channel, confirm, give the name. Perfect, we'll hit confirm again. And now we get to pick what zone. I'm just going to stick it in this existing zone that I have in here, the Skybridge zone. We should be able to find it in there. Perfect. And now we can back out of here. So if we scroll through this zone, we should be, there we go, there it is. That is the channel that we just programmed into both radios. Perfect, so let's go ahead and turn the volume up on these here a little bit. Perfect, just like that. So let's go ahead and try it out. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG. There we go. Hopefully you can see that on the screen here. Make sure you can see that lighting up. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG. Perfect, we can hear it working great. We'll try this the other way, just to make sure it works. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG. So got the volume up a little bit here. We're getting some signal going back and forth through the radios. That's always fun, talking right next to each other. But it's working great. So there we go. We programmed our simplex frequency into both of these radios. So we got a little bit extra time here. Let's do another one real quick. Now this is a great time to start asking your questions. Ask some questions for us. We're going to answer all of your guys' questions today, at least as many as we can fit in. And then also remember, guys, if you have questions about these radios, give us a call, 816-532-8451, and press 2, and we have ham radio operators standing by. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have or help you get set up with the right radio. So let's go ahead and add another channel real quick. So we're going to go to our settings. Perfect. And this time we've got all of our basic settings out of the way, so it will be a lot easier. Once you've set up your radio kind of for, to be usable, then we can go and quickly set up our channel. So let's do one here. We'll set our tone to 162.2, and let's see, leave everything else alone because it should all be correct. And then the frequency, oops, got out of there. Frequency, we'll do 146.03. There we go, perfect. Great, so we're good there. Then save this. New channel. And give it a name. Oops, looks, it appears as though I was on characters instead of numbers. That'll help. Perfect, so save this one, zone 1, we'll stick it there, confirm. Perfect, so this should be set. We'll do the same thing over here real quick. Menu, settings, channel set our tone to 162.2. And everything else should stay the same because we've already set it. We'll set the frequency to 146.03 pound, confirm. Perfect. Make sure that's the same, which it is. And we should be set there. Let's add it to a zone real quick. New channel, confirm, and then give it our name. Perfect, just like that, confirm. And we'll add it to that Skybridge zone again. And perfect. We should have this here now, so if we switch over to it, there it is. We can switch over on both radios. And let's try it out. Make sure our volume, I'll make sure the volume's turned up on both of them so we can hear. Okay. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG. Perfect, so we can see it working. Now, if I was to switch this radio over to our other channel, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So we've got them both. Now, if we set them both over to this channel, you can see it working. Testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG. Perfect, there we go. So that is working great. Now, if you wanted to, let me give you an example real quick of changing the tone. So just to show you what that tone will do for you. So if I go in here and we change the channel set and we change one of the tones. So let's say we change the receive tone to something completely different. We'll put this at like 192.8 hertz. Perfect. So now we're over here. Now what's going to happen is I can transmit perfectly fine to this radio. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is W3AMG. Got to keep them separated a little bit. Now with this radio, if I try to transmit, testing, 1, 2, 3, W3AMG. we can see that nothing is happening because we had the receive tone of this radio set differently. So that's the cool part with the tones. You can set them up, you can even use the same frequency and have different tones set on it. So some people are not going to hear certain transmissions. But that's pretty much it for the tutorial. Went pretty quick today, but hopefully you were able to learn a lot from that. It's great to be able to just take one of these radios, jump on the frequency, and start talking straight away. It's really quite easy to do. So what questions do we have? Sign up for the giveaway. If you're present to win, you can win one of these radios today. You have the chance to do so. You do have to be present though, so don't go anywhere until we, even after we draw the winner. If they're not here, we will draw another. So until it's official, don't leave the stream.
Why would you set the tone for TX only?
Why would you set the tone for TX only? I mean, there's not really a great reason why you would set them to be one or the other. Some people, like if you had it set for TX only, some people may want to have a system like a repeater system, for example, where people can listen, but they can't actually transmit to it without the tone. Or, vice versa. There's kind of, everyone has a different reason for why they may or may not want to do it. But sometimes that's a common thing I've heard. People, that they don't mind if people listen, but they don't really want, unless you have the tone, they don't want you to be able to transmit to it. Or some situations are the other way around too. For a simplex frequency, usually I just set one for both. That just kind of keeps unwanted disturbances out. That seems like the best way to go.
Is this procedure the same for the mobile radios?
Great question. Is it the same for the mobile radios? Basically, yeah. I mean, obviously slightly different button layout, but it's going to be the exact same procedure. So if you have a mobile, like Anytone 578, it's going to work exactly the same.
What kind of charging cable does this radio use?
So this radio uses well, it doesn't actually use a charging cable. The battery itself, let me show you here. It can be charged in the charging cradle that comes with the radio. And you can also take it off and charge the battery by itself. So you don't actually have to have the battery on the radio on the battery to charge it, which is great. So you can have batteries charging while you're using the radio, and then when it comes time to change it, you just swap out the battery instead of having to wait for your radio to charge. And we have some car chargers too, if you ever want to set one up in your vehicle.
Is this procedure documented on Google Docs? And if so, where is it?
It is, absolutely. So the show notes, they should be available, the link in the description. Should be able to find them there. We've also, I guess we should cover some potential problems real quick. Not entering the same frequency and tone in all of your radios, because you can set up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 radios. It doesn't make a difference. But if one of them has a different frequency, it's not going to work. Or only setting the receive frequency. I've seen people do that before. They set the receive but forget the transmit. Now these radios are pretty good. They usually do that for you, but I have seen it happen. Or leaving your bandwidth set to narrow instead of wide. But for the most part, it's a really pretty simple process. Any more questions?
Can you do DMR simplex?
Great question. You can. DMR simplex works great. We'll have to cover that another time, but it's very similar process. We've covered something similar before, but we could certainly do that more specifically again. I'd be okay with that, but it works very similar process. You go in, you set your color code, time slot, frequency, everything like that, and then you save your channel.
Are there any more advantages to digital simplex?
Digital is generally, in some ways, a little bit better. Digital is going to give you a more clear signal. We've seen people get further range out of it. Digital signals are just kind of a completely different beast. but they work really well. So yeah, I would, if you have digital radios, you may as well go digital. But analog is good to mess around with too. I enjoy both.
Why would you want to use a tone for simplex?
So you don't really need a tone for simplex, but just like a repeater, you don't need a tone for them either. But sometimes it's good to have one. It tends to eliminate, getting other interference from people messing around, or, like on one of these one of these frequencies here, 2-meter frequencies, VHF frequencies. Sometimes having that tone on there will just help you, not hear all of any other interference, which we'd like to think there's none out there, but sometimes, people can mess around on radios, and they obviously shouldn't on the amateur band, but it does happen, and that generally pretty much eliminates hearing any other unwanted activity.
What's the distance that you can use for this?
Sure, so that's a great question. Unfortunately, there isn't really a set distance. If these repeaters, if you're hitting a repeater with your radio, it can be miles and miles. I've known people hit repeaters 20 miles away, depending on terrain, obviously. But simplex, it really is going to depend a lot on your terrain and just what your conditions are. If you have good elevation and you have kind of line of sight, you're going to go a long way. But if you're in a city, a lot of trees, big buildings, you may not make it, may only make it a half mile. So it really just depends on your conditions, what kind of terrain you have. Now I've road tripped with these before with some buddies, and we've had them in our cars and just simplex, and we've gotten probably easily a mile with varying terrain. So it really just depends. You'll have to try it out for your own area, but generally range is not a huge issue.
After programming the channel to low power, can you change the output power without going back to the channel settings during a QSO?
You can, absolutely. So I don't know if I have it set up on any of these radios. Let me see. No. Nope, I do not. So you can, basically what you do is just program one of your buttons to change the power. So you would do that in your settings. Set one of the buttons, the programmable buttons, as a shortcut to change the power level. And then you can just change that for any channel on the fly. Awesome. Any more questions, guys? And remember, if you have more questions, give us a call, 816-532-8451, and we'd be more than happy to work with you. Press 2, and we'll get you taken care of.
Can this be performed more efficiently with a computer program and cable?
Great question. So absolutely. Now the actual process of setting it up the first time, it's a wash whether you do it on the radio or the computer. It's going to be about the same time, but you can do it on the computer. Now if you want to program a lot of radios, absolutely. So what you can do is get one set up and then save that code plug and just import it into all of your other radios. So let's say you had 20 radios you wanted to set up, your buddies, and you were going on a trip and wanted to all talk together. You're going out in the middle of nowhere where there's not repeaters. This will be great for you. So you can just take that computer and program all of those radios up for it. So absolutely.
Can this radio transmit on the PMR frequencies?
That's a good question. We'll have to get back to you on that. I am not familiar with what the PMR frequencies are. At least I don't think I am. So that's a great question. These radios are Part 90 certified. Now, if you buy the amateur version, they're going to be locked out of commercial frequencies because they have the VFO. Now, if you want a commercial version, we'd sell them too. Or if you have one, you could send it back in. We could get it switched over for you. That way, it locks out the VFO, but it opens up the entire frequency range that the radios advertise, the 136 to 174, and so on and so forth.
Can we install the CPS for each Anytone radio onto the same computer? Will there be any issues?
No, you shouldn't have any issues. Just make sure you install it to the C, the Charlie drive, instead of the D drive, Delta. You want to make sure it's on that C drive, because the software sometimes tries to put it on the D drive. But nope, you can install all of the different CPSs. I think I have pretty much every version they ever had on my computer. No problems.
If your RX only hears transmissions with the proper tone, how do you check for a busy channel before you start talking?
That's a great question. So you could set up, if you want to do that, you could just set up a monitor. I believe you can set up a monitor to monitor everything. I'm not super familiar with that. It's been a while since I've done it. So you could certainly, we could certainly find that information out for you if you want to know that. Give us a phone call. I know that the tech guys are real sharp. They could get that answered for you. But that is a good question. I don't know the exact answer to that off the top of my head, but there is a way to do it, I believe.
All right, we have a winner for today's giveaway.
Okay, perfect. Well, we have a winner for today's giveaway. Now, don't go away just yet. We do have to confirm that this person is in the chat. If not, we will draw another winner. So let's see who it is.
Today's winner is John Jarvis, KC7ABC, possibly on YouTube as Casey Jarvis.
Awesome. Is John in the house? Let's see here. One lucky winner is going to win the 878 Plus, a brand new radio for them. Let's see, who is going to take it home today? Are you here, John? Give it a little bit of time. I know there's a slight delay in the stream here. Let's see. Do we see John yet?
We do not see John yet. John, where are you?
Give it a few more seconds here. Casey Jarvis, is that him? Yes, I'm here.
It appears that John is here.
Perfect. Looks like he is here. So congratulations, John. You have won yourself a brand new 878 radio, 878 Plus radio. So this is going to be awesome for you. Hope you enjoy it. Each and every one of you have the chance to win one of these every week, and much more importantly, get some free live training for your radios. So if you have any buddies who are interested in ham radio, just getting into it, got a radio but not sure where to go from there, send them our way. We'd love to help them. That's really what it's all about, the community, and we couldn't do it without you. So I thank each and every one of you for attending. So have a great week, guys. Enjoy your radios, and we'll catch you on the air. This is Cody W3AMG from Bridgecom Systems 7.3.